10 seconds to go. Jaron dribbles into the front court, drives to the bucket. His shot, no good. Put back up and in by Trayvon Scott. Cincinnati by 1. Rose from half court. His shot is no good. The snap, the put down, the swing of the leg. It is on its way. It is good. Cincinnati wins the American Championship.
Here comes the quarterback, Burrow, looking for a block, and he got it up in the front by Hopkins into the end zone. Touchdown! What a skipper! Called his own number and streaks for 23 for a touchdown for Cincinnati.
Welcome back. What up?
How are you?
I mean, New digs. I'm in the new place. We're downtown. Got a solid internet connection.
It would seem that way.
Time.
My picture's coming in crisp.
As long as Ed can keep the echo down, we'll be all right.
My audio's
The
all
echo's
good.
fixed. Everything is great now.
It only took him like 15 minutes to let us into the chat. It's fine.
I know, I was backstage forever. Then he showed us a sweet Band-Aid tattoo that he got.
I got my vaccine today.
Did you get the Johnson & Johnson, or are you on the double dose plan?
No, I'm on the double dose plan. I got that Pfizer.
So
right.
Does that make you bruised fruit?
I don't get it.
Because you're a cantaloupe.
I get it. Because of Cantaloupe Carl. I get it. All right.
So we got Cauliflower Carl, Cantaloupe Carl, Coreyville Carl, Carlville Corey.
I think there's a Carlyville Coral now.
Coral.
There's all kinds of Carls out there.
I just want to know why he has like 12 burner accounts.
I don't know what's happening anymore with Cincinnati Twitter, but it's fantastic.
I have not a clue. I'm
I
out
feel
of
like
it.
The thing is anymore, I don't know who is who on Twitter. Because I mean, Ed's retweeting every troll burner account that's out there. And
I did it one time.
I think
It was
that
an accident.
I
mean, you weren't the only one. It was like a Barstool thing, wasn't it? Didn't Barstool pick that up?
Yeah, Barstool did it. But you're also the one who got on here and starts in this in the group chat about Dayton joining the AAC.
Yeah.
I think this is the most fun that Cincinnati Twitter has had in about 2 weeks.
It's the most fun and the most accurate.
You've got to have fun at some point, right?
True.
I mean, you can't just be all doom and gloom forever.
I just hope it doesn't make Coreyville Carl the original rage out.
What if he does? I mean, he wants to be on the show, so.
It's true.
It's true.
Somebody asked me today, they said, how was your vaccine?
Have a face cam, though?
Probably not. They said, how was your vaccine experience? And I said, ran smoother than a UC athletics investigation. And it actually hurt a lot less, too.
What if Coreyville Carl came on the show and had like a voice changer? He came on, he's like
Hello, this is Coreyville Carl. I'm here to tell everyone that John Brennan is going to be put on administrative leave.
You didn't even pronounce his name right. It's Brannon.
Brannon.
See, that's why you're the Cantaloupe Carl. I am Coreyville Carl.
See, those are the things that would happen.
I mean,
that is what has happened to UC Twitter, Cincinnati. I mean, everything.
That was a live look.
Look at what it's done to the podcast.
That was a live look at UC Twitter.
God, it's horrible. It's like, I mean, you've got to know, like, I mean, okay, I guess there could be like the potential that some random person out of nowhere, which is probably a burner account for somebody that doesn't really want to like be attached to whatever hot take they make or whatever like information that may come out of UC's like athletic department might break a story. But let's be honest, like unless it comes from like Chad or any number of verified people, not people that have like a number 7 with like a white circle around it or something that take other people out.
You guys are jerks.
I mean, you gotta wait for that stuff to come up. So everything else is like just take it with a grain of salt and laugh at it, and then laugh at people when they get bit by it.
So rag on Ed and it was a bunch of bullshit.
So, I mean, I discussed on my podcast last night on Bearcat Journal that there's 2 different camps right now, basically. And, Chad kind of alluded to the fact that you have the camp that says this is all going to be over in the next couple of days. And that was last night. Obviously, as of 9:30 on Tuesday night, nothing has happened as of yet, publicly anyway. Of course, you have all the burner accounts saying that it's all over. So who knows? All the Carls.
There are people sending me direct messages saying it's over.
Well, that's probably because you said you left the UC athletic department meeting or something yesterday, and there was like people that were like, "Spill the beans."
I gained 5 new followers. I did. I spilled all the beans. There's still construction at the Hopple Street exit. The campus is still a lot more beautiful than Norwood is. Yeah, what happened?
That was deep. So then, or you have the camp that this thing's going to be dragged out for the next couple of weeks, at which point...
that would be such a disaster.
That's like the worst possible thing that could happen. However, this whole situation's been handled about as piss poor as you could handle anything.
No, absolutely. I mean, you can't, like, if this was going to start, like, and I get it, like, people are like, well, they got to get their ducks in a row. And I was one of those people, like, they got to get their ducks in a row, but it's almost like if you're going to get your ducks in a row, like if they'd gotten their ducks in a row or whatever they were doing, whatever they were looking at, even if they were going to try and force them out to like all of a sudden go public and be like, oh, we're going to start this investigation and look into stuff and we're going to do this. And people are like analyzing like the phrasing of it to say like, oh no, they clearly already looked into stuff and now they're doing that. Nobody knows. It's a situation where you're like, and I've said it before, I hear more about UC sports from Santa Ona than you know what I mean? Like,
from Pinto?
Than from Pinto or from Cunningham. I mean,
that's
like,
true.
When Bone was here, like I felt like, and maybe this is just kind of looking back on things with like rose-colored glasses, I don't know, but I felt like when he was here, there was at least like some direction of the athletics department that was like in the public eye of like, look, we're doing this, we're going here. He was showing up places. I just feel like Cunningham isn't. I did go back and look. Like I follow him on Twitter, and he tweets out a lot more than I guess what shows up on my Twitter timeline for whatever reason, which is silly. But I don't know what the algorithms and stuff are for that. But he does tweet out more than I had given him credit for. But that's just because it just either doesn't pop up in my timeline or I don't see it. Like for whatever reason, it doesn't hit whenever I'm looking at Twitter, which is generally all day long. So I don't know why I missed that. But
can we discuss why you're wearing these glasses and your hood up?
They're blue light glasses, Ed, and that way I don't get a headache because I've been getting a headache from staring at a computer screen.
I have blue light glasses, but they're not yellow.
Well, these have better blue light protection.
Okay, that's fair.
Don't come at my potential health condition.
I'm not coming at anybody's health condition, please. Don't let your wife create a burner account and start coming at me, please.
You know that well
she
would not need a
burner
burner account to come after you, Ed.
That's true. She comes straight at me. That's right. Did she ever get any yogurt? By the way, it's been about a year.
I'll ask her, but you are really inviting, a lot more fire than what I can breathe at you by going after my wife.
Speaking of wives with burner accounts, what?
Ed's straight white knighting for that one.
I feel like, I mean, obviously there's been whispers of that going around too. Like this whole thing has gotten completely out of hand on both sides. I feel like obviously the Brandon clan does not feel like they did anything wrong. Hence John not stepping away. he of course wants to be paid. I can't blame him for that. And if you truly don't believe you did anything wrong, like your reputation's on the line. Like
Yeah,
this whole thing
absolutely.
is just it's so messy.
I mean, we talked about it a couple weeks ago where it was like it was one of those things where you got to be like either like you go at him and you buy him out. If you can't afford to buy him out, then you got to make it nice for him and be like, look,
Well,
we can make this ugly. We can make this very ugly, and it's not going to look good for you when you go show up somewhere else to get hired.
they did
Or
start
you
selling.
can step away with like your, hey, I tried, but the athletic department, we just didn't agree, whatever. I mean, it's very clear that, at least to me, looking at it from the outside and everything that's coming in, that like Cunningham has no intentions of keeping him around.
Oh no, both sides are just dug all the way in.
Oh, for sure.
And all it's doing is, I mean, this is worse than when Zimfer fired Hugs.
It's going
Well, because they had cause. They had cause right away. Like it was all over the news. They had cause. Now they don't like whatever the cause is. It's
Right.
it's hidden.
Okay, they had cause, but it was cause against an icon, which I mean,
No,
is what it
yeah,
is. But like,
but even with the Huggins thing, they didn't fire him right away. Like they still waited.
what, like a week?
I mean, you still should have done it done and done. Like, got the video. See ya.
That's true. I mean, it's just crazy. I don't even know what to believe. Like, and I haven't seen any accounts out there that make me believe it's a burner account for Lisa, but I have seen her like liking comments and liking tweets, which okay, whatever. But I also heard today that there are people now who are now like verbally abusing her in public. Like if she's out at a Kroger or something, they're like,
that's unacceptable. I mean,
that's not unacceptable.
You also have these loser people who are like going out of their way on like fake accounts. Like it's not even your real picture, not even your real name, and you're going after the student athletes.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Like, calm down on that. Like, you can't be going after the student athletes. It's a bad look for the university. It's a bad look for the fanhood. And who's to say that it isn't like just a troll from another fan base anyway? Nobody really knows, but it's gross that people even think that that's okay to do.
Oh, I bet you a bunch of these trolls are from Xavier. Like, no doubt.
I mean, I would hope, like, even in the rivalry, like, you're not doing things like that on any side. Like,
that's true.
I don't know. I feel like it's no worse than what you see on a regular basis with, like, Bengal and Steeler fans, though, honestly. The only difference is these kids are 19, 20 years old. Technically not kids, and I know that point has been raised several times. But I mean, they're student athletes. They're not getting paid for this. You can make that argument too, that they're getting paid in tuition, room and board. Okay, cool.
You can't make that argument anymore. Did you hear that girl who from Oregon? Was it Oregon? Yeah, I think it was Oregon. The one who put out the video about the difference between the men's weight room and the women's weight room at the NBA tournament. She's in the class action lawsuit suing the NCAA because her was it TikTok account is now so big. You know, when you get a big TikTok account, you usually get to sell like the coldest water bottle and all that kind of crap. She can't do that. She can't make any money off her account because, the NCAA.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's happened before for a lot of people.
She's not going to win anything though, because that's what you signed up for. Like, you knew that you couldn't make money off your likeness. There's been plenty of people who would have made money off their likeness.
Yeah, that's true.
Jim Tressel got fired because his players were trading like
jerseys. That's ridiculous.
Jerseys for tattoos.
That's called pioneer bartering. We learned about that in 3rd grade.
Pioneer bartering. It's called the Players Trunk, and you can go. We're not sponsored or affiliated with them, but
if you're a part of the Players Trunk and you want to be a sponsor or affiliation with us, go ahead.
Don't even shout them out. Keep it quiet so you can still get the good stuff.
Way to go, Jeff.
Man.
I mean,
this is why I didn't tell anybody about everything but the house for the longest time.
I'm just trying to help out our loyal listeners.
I did see that the university is selling their last round of Shoemaker Center seats. So maybe if they sell enough of those, we can do the buyout.
I feel
Nope.
like the university should go completely NASCAR and just like Michigan State did with how they you have to call them the Rocket Mortgage
The Rocket Mortgage Spartans.
or whatever, like the Michigan State brought to you by Rocket Mortgage or whatever. Cincinnati should just go all in on that. That way they can afford the Brandon buyout and all of the court fees that are going to go along with that whole mess.
Is that absolutely allowed?
What, to just sell everything?
To basically call yourselves, the Rocket Mortgage Bearcats or whatever.
Name the court,
Well, I mean, the naming rights to
Fifth Third Arena,
Fifth Third are they're open now. I mean, Fifth Third's not renewing that. That's,
they're not?
No.
Fifth Third Better Arena is no longer, huh?
Fifth Third said they weren't gonna sponsor or have their name on the arena anymore.
Should we?
That happened like at the end of the season, like when it was like the day before all these, or like the day after all the kids started like hitting the transfer portal,
decommitting.
Should we start a GoFundMe account and get the PTP Arena?
I made that joke whenever it happened, Ed.
I missed it. Sorry.
Aaron liked it. You skipped it.
Group chat. I may have been watching.
Usual.
He just kept scrolling.
He just kept scrolling. It made him mad.
Aaron told me
it's PTP Arena.
Aaron just told me to keep scrolling. I didn't know what else to do. Aaron's frozen. Oh, no, he's back.
Oh,
So
man.
yeah, I know we've talked about UC basketball a whole lot, and it's been not the best light, and that makes me sad.
It makes me sad too.
This is now 1, 2, 3, 4 podcasts last 3 weeks that have been just doom and gloom, and I
Double
really
that number for me, Jeffrey.
I know. I really wish. Hey, I shouted you out on the Twitters.
I know you. I'm just saying, like, it's a horrible place to live. Just talking.
Well, then you got people all mad and like hating on Houston for getting to the Elite Eight. That's good for the conference. That's good for recruiting.
I'm not mad at Houston.
I'm not saying you are. I'm talking about people on Twitter.
No, I'm fine with Houston. I'm mad Mick's there.
Well, I know. And somebody actually brought it up on Facebook today. What if the recruiting thing is not John Brandon? Which, okay, fine. But what if it is what Mick said, and we don't have the facilities to recruit top players? And now that he's at UCLA, he does.
Did you see?
Did
you see the quote? Did you see the quote that Hep put out?
Get him.
And
no,
I don't know if I want to put this. Was that something that was a publicly available quote that wasn't like somebody screenshotted something out of like the Athletic?
I'm not sure where that quote came from, but I know it's been circulating all of UC Twitter.
Okay, so it's been out there, so I don't feel like I'm like stealing somebody's content that they got. Are we good with that?
We didn't put it out. I mean, essentially, let's not read it verbatim, but essentially all it says is that Mick, if he went to a gym to go recruit
saw some top tier coaches there, like from blue blood programs,
like Kentucky or Michigan State or
North Carolina, Duke, whatever.
Yep.
That he would just have to leave the gym.
He'd bounce
because he wouldn't, so he would just roll out. But now that he's at UCLA, he can go right in the front door.
So Mick would just have to bounce because he knew he didn't have any chance to get the recruits?
He would leave because he knew he didn't have a shot. So he didn't even try.
And so maybe somebody was like, yeah, but he was losing recruits to Boston College. So
he also wasn't even.
Apparently some of these players were too small to play for us.
He wasn't even trying.
He wasn't recruiting at home.
No.
Yeah,
Jackson Hayes, Miles McBride.
McBride, yeah, exactly.
Because Jackson Hayes isn't very good.
He's too small.
Get out of here with that.
I don't remember. It was one of the podcasts. I want to say it was James White. In the interview I did with him, I think he said that Mick doesn't even recruit white boys.
It was Alex Meacham's podcast. I think it was Kevin who said it. Yeah.
I knew it was on somebody's podcast.
He goes, Kevin Johnson. He's like, I don't even know that Mick ever recruited a white guy.
I knew I heard it from somebody's mouth. Like, man.
Somebody just asked if anybody's checked the likes from Coreyville Carl's wife's account. thought that was funny too. Thanks.
Carlyville
Carlyville Coral.
You see Twitter's a mess right now.
It's so entertaining.
That's what happens though when the AD and when everyone's this quiet and tight-lipped about everything, you're going to have everybody running rampant with all of their theories. Put something out publicly. Like even the people who have inside information have nothing right now.
That's true. Here's the other thing. It's not going to go away anytime soon. We have opening day happening on Thursday, but most of us can't watch it because most of us cut the cable, cut the cord, and we can't watch it on YouTube or Hulu. So we'll be able to watch opening day on channel 12, but the rest of the games we're back to UC Twitter.
I'll be watching.
I mean, I guess I could watch a Chicago game.
I could also walk to the stadium.
Yeah,
You just walk down to Fountain Square. Watch it on the big board down there.
I'll meet you down there.
They just put it back in.
Hey, after April 20th, I'll be down there.
Oh man. All right, so I think we're good to move on from the Bearcats.
UC
think
basketball.
so.
Yeah, but I'll keep checking to make sure Coreyville doesn't tweet something else.
Oh, right. Ed, you even commented on it. when I said that Pittsburgh wasn't, you said might as well change the arena name to Weiler Arena, and I said PTP Podcast Center.
Oh, I thought we were talking about. Oh, see, I didn't know what you're talking. I thought we were talking about Weiler giving a bunch of money for the buyout and just renaming the arena. My bad. I didn't understand the context of that.
You read.
Yeah, but sometimes I'm watching Schitt's Creek, so.
We've also seen the way he talks.
And types. But I'll tell you, he can edit one hell of a video. Quickly.
Even audio. But thank you. I appreciate that.
Top tier producer.
He does get it out. Lickety split.
Just like that.
So you brought up opening day. Opening day is 2 days away. And as is always the case here in the Queen City, the weather's going to be absolutely shitty.
It's going to be like freezing cold out. We got to buy a starter jacket again.
I got a freeze warning on my phone. I was sitting in training today and got a freeze warning on my phone.
I got to go unplug the hoses. Thanks for telling me.
The high is 39. The low is 21. It does look to be partly cloudy.
We might get snow.
I mean,
we've had snow on opening day before. That's not unusual, I guess.
You know what they say
it
about...
appears to be raining outside, as a matter of fact.
Right now?
You know what they say about the weather in Ohio, though, right?
Wait 10 minutes, it'll change?
I was going to say, if you don't like the weather in Ohio, just wait until tomorrow.
That's a true statement. Absolute true statement. Or just wait until this afternoon.
It's the only day of the last, I don't know, 30 that it's going to be this cold.
Yeah, that's probably true.
And every day after that, look at this. Every day after that, 70, 70, 70, 75, 75, 72. Why is opening day 39?
Freeze warning in effect from 1 a.m. to 11 a.m.
Today?
Overnight.
I gotta unscrew the hose outside.
Tonight?
That's what I just got.
I thought tomorrow's supposed to be 70.
Yeah, I'm showing
I lied. That's Wednesday. Wednesday into Thursday.
Be better, dude.
Yeah, that makes way more sense.
Out here making me think I'm gonna have frozen pipes.
No, that's tomorrow.
Well, I got time tomorrow.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
It's gonna ruin the Dora experience because, well, no, I think it won't.
Well, City Council's trying to shut the Dora down anyway, so.
Knew that was coming.
What? Because of the COVIDs.
I was down there today.
Did you enjoy a frosty beverage while walking in the street?
No, I didn't care enough to.
How's it different from a normal opening day? Because I there's been many times I've gotten a frosty beverage and walked down the street.
The door is permanent.
Oh, okay. So it's that was a temporary thing.
It goes from the Heritage Bank Center all the way down to Paul Brown Stadium. But
who's drinking all the way down there?
Huh?
Who's even going there?
That just contains like all of the tailgating spots
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
and that kind of stuff. So yeah,
Pretty much everything from Merring Way up to
2nd Street.
2nd Street, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
And then they permanently shut down like the
banks.
part of the road there between like Holy Grail and like across the street right
I
there.
feel like they should open that up until like 5 p.m. on weekdays.
So I can't drive in between Holy Grail and the stadium anymore?
Nope.
Oh, that sucks.
You can on the what's it
Crossroads.
no, it's just the little section like of Freedom Way right there or whatever.
Just from like Holy Grail down to like whatever that is down there.
Like from like was it Ruth's Chris down to down to Holy Grail and then like that section like across the street to like Jefferson Social down to like where the that taco place, that new taco place,
Condados
Tacos.
Can we talk about that for a minute? The article that came out in the Inquirer, the Reds are the like in poverty, like the Reds franchise is in poverty. Like they quoted in there that it's hard to find a parking spot at a Reds game. I got no problem parking at a Reds game. Like,
no, that's Paul Doherty being Paul Doherty.
Okay,
that's all that was.
And then there was like the quote where Phil Castellini said that their financials are a train wreck.
I think Paul Doherty thinks that
stadium.
I think Paul Doherty thinks that if he's not parking in the stadium, he's walking too far, and that there's no parking. Because
my $5 parking spot is gone now. There was a spot. It was basically like a gravel pit that was to the left of Heritage Bank Arena. But that's gone now. They're apparently building apartments there. Yeah. In between the Serpentine Wall and Heritage Bank.
Well, I can just walk there, so no big deal.
Yeah. I'll go park at the Newport and Levee and walk across the Purple Bridge.
Are you gonna start riding bird scooters and stuff?
Yes.
I've not done that yet.
Don't.
You will though.
I think it's terrible. And especially like you can get a DUI on one. So
just walk.
I'm good walking.
Get your steps in. Got an Apple Watch?
No, I don't need to count my steps. I know if I walked or not.
Somebody's out there. They're out there revving their engines.
There's a biker gang out here, or somebody got a broken bird.
I saw them on TikTok the other day taunting a Cincinnati police officer.
Huh?
Funny, Ed.
It's not funny. I'm just saying I saw that.
Let's talk about the Reds.
All right.
Opening day lineup.
Well, there's not going to be very many people in the opening day lineup because they're all injured.
Correct.
We are missing a couple of people.
And I guess the Eugenio Suarez like project wasn't really like a trial run. It seems like it's it's the go-to. So
he had to have known though, right? I mean, we talked about this. I think
he can't. Okay, and maybe it was just him deciding like let me do it. But he came in awfully svelte and like ready to go to make that move from third base, which, I mean, if you think about it, like as long as, I mean, he's a viable shortstop, right? So then you move Moustakas back over to third, which is probably where he fits the best. And then that opens up second base for
Jonathan India,
for the coolest baseball player ever, Jonathan India.
I'm just happy that they're actually going to start the kid from the jump, not wait for this stupid.
You can't do that.
He's played too well.
Okay, here's the thing. This is what, and like I think it was Lance McAllister I heard talking about this on the radio today. You can't run the risk of having a bad start to the season, right?
No, I mean it's like a
here's the
10th
thing.
of the season.
Here's the thing, right? Reds fans are already at this point. We're all Reds fans. We're at this point. We've talked about it. They didn't do anything like noteworthy over between the end of last season and now. right? They didn't go make some big signing. They
Oh,
didn't retain their only Cy Young pitcher ever.
Did you see the
we knew that was a long shot.
Did you see the shortstop that they did trade for? The Yankees shortstop they had to give back.
No, I didn't hear that.
Was that Kyle Holder?
Kyle Holder, yeah, he went back to the Yankees. They had to give him back. He was a Rule 5.
Was he?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they gave him cash to keep him, and didn't get the cash back, but had to give him back.
So okay, that sucks. I did not see that, but
they lost money on Kyle Holder.
And then the guy, who was it? The guy that they went and got in the Noe Ramirez or whatever.
Yep.
They booted him to the curb. Which, all right, if he's not working out, like there's no reason to have him taking up space. Like,
nope.
Let's not run him out there.
Well, it looks like they're actually paying attention to how these guys have been doing in spring training. I mean,
I don't think there's any way, and you can elaborate and tell me I'm crazy, but I don't think there's any way that their offense performs as poorly as they did for the entirety of last year.
I don't know. They got to figure something out, and they got to figure it out quick. Like, there's no way Suarez starts out as cold as he did. You can't do that 2 years in a row.
I don't think so either. I also think that Nick Castellanos isn't going to play like he did. Like, I mean, he started off all right, and then all of a sudden he got cold, and it was just bad.
Although he did have that.
He's been hitting like 700 or something crazy for. I mean,
the last like 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, in spring training. So like, hopefully that's all clicking and coming around. And I think really the concern is the injuries that Ed mentioned.
You said he went cold, but he did have that one long fly ball to deep left.
Oh, Jesus.
That's a home run for Castellanos.
This might be the last time I put on this.
I'm not sure if I have a job after this. So you got Shogo. Shogo's not going to be in because of hamstring.
Well, I guess when they were talking to him about that injury, he said that he heard it, he felt it, and he knew it was bad. And hamstring injuries don't go away, right?
Right.
That's a nagging thing. Is it Sonny Gray that was having back issues?
Sonny Gray has back injuries. And then Michael Lorenzen has shoulder sprain. Yeah, shoulder sprain.
Ed, I just want to point out there's a question for you in the comment section.
It says Ed, did Bofa make the team?
Bofa who? Bofa who? Clinton, I don't know, or Clay, I don't know who that is. Also, yes, Aaron did make it out of his laundry closet. How was dinner, Clay, by the way? Just a question.
Out of control.
I'll send him a link.
Lorenzen's also injured, though. Sonny Gray's also injured.
Right, Sonny Gray was his back, right? He was having some back things. I know, but we're just kind of going over them again.
I'm glad he thinks he's funny.
Clay's always good for a laugh.
I think he's funny.
You know who wouldn't do that?
Don't even say
it. Don't do it.
Keep it to yourself, Ed. Cantaloupe Carl. But and then Aristides Aquino made the.
Aquino did make it. That was, I think, a surprise for probably everybody. But when you have the injuries that you've had, and you're talking about throwing Naquin out there,
especially Clay didn't like him.
Hey, don't hate on Clay's boy.
Who would you rather have though? Would you rather have Naquin or would you rather have Aquino coming in on a pinch hit or a spot start?
Naquin
over Aquino for real?
Mm-hmm. I don't think Aquino is going to get back. I mean, he's obviously he's never going to get back to like hitting every ball 700 feet
before they had a scouting report on him.
Right.
Right.
And like I don't know. I mean, I guess he worked on his. Maybe he's adjusted his swing again, and it'll magically click, and he'll start hitting 700-foot bombs. But
Is he still Punisher?
he still signs his name that way.
Does he?
Really?
Yeah,
How much are those autograph balls going for?
and I mean, he's. We'll see. They've got the injury bug is alive and well in Cincinnati, as it always is, and it's going to be a interesting start to the season. Hopefully, these guys kind of heal up and do it in a quick fashion, because we can't afford to start the season, 1-8 or 3-18 or whatever it was the last few years, where before the season even gets going, they're out of it and they're just struggling to be like, hey, maybe we'll make it back over 500 by September.
Well, the wild horse is still available if we continue to have injuries.
You know who else is available? Just got from his early contract.
I still don't understand why Puig doesn't have a contract somewhere.
Well, apparently it's a story came out, something about
Domestic.
some sort of domestic or something like that. But I mean, I don't know.
His was only one case though, not 19.
That's true.
And that dude still has a job
In Houston.
Man.
And then what's that like? Hunter Green has been hitting. What do you have? Like he had hit 104 twice, I think, in his last little go around.
I just want to know whose shoulder they replaced him with. Like, did he get like a genetically modified shoulder when they gave him his Tommy John surgery?
Surgery?
I put those two words together. It's
you did,
fine.
and that's okay.
Oh, when he does it, okay, that's fine. Yeah,
it's very rare that I make those type of grammatical errors. Ed. I have a tendency to use 4 and 5 syllable words.
You are a real reporter.
I mean, and what's funny is if you look on Twitter, they report oh yeah, you got Hunter Green. He hit 104 twice. They were both for strikes, and people are like, oh, I bet he's throwing them dead straight.
Did you see the nasty curve?
Then you stand in the box and try and hit 104 mile an hour fastball straight down the middle.
What's that reliever that Clay was pumping up that threw that nasty curve and ended up with a 1.7 ERA for the spring training? Do you know who I'm talking about?
I remember him talking about. Is Clay still around?
Clay, are you on?
Are you still in the chat?
Clay.
Was
he a minor league guy?
Yes, it was.
Riley O'Brien? Ryan Hendrick? Hendrick?
Cionel Perez. Yeah.
Cionel Perez.
That's who it was. So no, that dude, he has some nasty stuff in some of the videos I saw on him.
Yeah. The Reds. So with what the Reds did, bringing in Kyle Bodie and a whole overhauling their entire training regimen and the way they go about pitching, is I think going to pay dividends, and it might not end up being this year, but I think you're going to start to see these kids coming up through the Reds organization that are, and hopefully they start using pine tar early enough that it doesn't change their MLB StatCast data enough to red flag them.
I mean, you have to also consider you got Tyler Stevenson starting at the big league level this year. You got, again, Jonathan India. I can't say enough about the fact that they're actually making the smart decision to start him at the big league level this year.
Bye, Clay.
Bye, Clay. We'll see you. We'll see you later, bud.
Hey, Clay, where are you going? Bye.
How do you feel about Blandino making the roster if he makes the roster?
Who else are you gonna put in there?
At this point, I don't know. I mean, I think he's maybe one of the first to lose a contract, though. once you bring back some of the guys that are injured.
I mean, you got to fill out a bench.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, let's go through this real quick. Obviously, catcher, you're going to have Barnhart and Stevenson splitting time.
Who just got his shot today, so we may not have to worry about him going out anytime.
And then you got Votto at first base.
It's inside information.
Right? What are you talking about, Ed? I'm trying to go through this.
He shits on everything that I put up. Like
you've got Votto at first base, right? And that he's not obviously leaving there. You got Jonathan India is going to be at second, Moustakas on third, Suarez at shortstop, and then you got an outfield of Castellanos, Senzel, Winker, Naquin, and Aquino, who I guess he didn't have any minor league options left, right?
Correct. Yeah. So when Shogo comes back,
too, isn't he?
Huh? I'm just talking about. I mean, Shogo's hurt right now, right?
Yeah.
So when Shogo comes back, which one do you give up on? Aquino again?
Yes.
Yeah, I think you got to let him go.
Which, by the way, his baseball is.
And then somebody will find him, and then he'll go be a DH somewhere and hit 40 bombs a year or something. But I don't know.
His baseball is still selling on eBay for 103.
And then you've also got Scott Heineman down in that they sent down, AAA. And did they end up getting rid of D. Gordon? Did they cut D. Gordon?
He got cut
yesterday.
And I did read somewhere that Sal Romano was told that he's going to make the squad.
He's on the active. Yep.
And then what? So you have Blandino and Farmer, and who else on the bench? I mean, you got the outfield guys that obviously they're not going to start 6 guys in the outfield, but with the way our defense goes, sometimes maybe we need 6 guys out there.
Stevenson's on the bench.
Okay, so it'll be Stevenson and Barnhart. You have one of those guys, but those aren't
Winker on the bench.
I was going to say, who's playing backup first base?
I mean, they can. First base is probably one of the easier spots to at least slide somebody over to, right? Like you put Moose over there if you need to, and then you can. If you have to do that, you put Moose over to first, and then you slide Suarez back over to third, and you put Kyle Farmer at short.
Or you run Kyle Farmer at third.
Or you run him at. I still think you put him at short. Because I think he's a better defender than Suarez is.
Well,
so.
I just don't know that you would want to move Suarez, who's relearning the position again.
This is true. Okay.
Slide him over. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
You could pick up Todd Frazier, and he could play third if there's an injury.
Or first.
I wouldn't be against picking up Frazier to put him on the bench.
Holy shit! You agree with me?
Huh.
I tripped into that. I got tricked by a non-verified Twitter account.
You got baited by Cantaloupe Carl.
Cantaloupe Carl strikes again.
It won't happen. Won't happen again. And then what? Your relievers? You got. I think this is an old list. So you got Doolittle.
Yep. Fulmer.
Amir Garrett.
Sal Romano.
Antone.
Lucas Sims.
Well, is Antone off the injured list?
Oh, that's right.
No, I think he's still on the injured list as well.
Cionel Perez, Cam Bedrosian. I think Jose De Leon is technically a starter right now.
Have we the opening day starter yet?
Lorenzen's still on the DH, right? Or the
Castillo.
IR.
Ed.
It's a mess.
Yeah.
Lucas Sims.
Castillo was announced as the opening day?
Castillo is, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, who else would it be?
Before he got injured, I was kind of hoping
Trevor
Sonny
Bauer. That hurts. That was deep. I'm sorry.
At least none of us spent money on a Trevor Bauer jersey.
I want to.
That was a Christmas gift, and he's the only Cy Young pitcher from the Reds ever. So it's going to be on my back at every Reds game I go to.
Forever.
I want to get a Larkin jersey or a Casey jersey, but if I get the Casey jersey, I want the one with the arms cut off. For obvious reasons.
I don't think they made one.
Back in the 90s.
Oh, he was here. Yeah, I forgot he was here. They've been in the same unis for so long.
It seems like.
So Perez did make the major league team.
Sionel, yeah, I knew that.
Yep.
And then Cam Bedrosian
I
and
said
Sal
that.
Romano.
Said that.
I'm through that.
Yep. This is a different article that I was looking at, and the other
Jeff,
one was like a prediction.
Beer Kong again?
What'd you say?
Have you been hitting the beer Kong again?
I haven't.
Okay.
We
That
are
was-
affiliated with them, though. If somebody would like to go to their link and buy a nice koozie that they could then
The link is in our Twitter bio.
pull a hose out of the bottom of it and drink it fast.
What is a beer Kong, Ed?
It's a koozie. It's a beer Kong. It's both, actually. It's a beer koozie, right? It's a really nice one. Put the can in there, beer koozie. And then when you're like, screw it, I can't drink, I have to drink this faster. You could take the hose off, which is almost like a handle. You take the hose off, pop it in the bottom, pour your beer in the koozie, beer bong. Awesome stuff. I think I'm going to order one soon.
I think they should send us some for being affiliated.
Yeah, probably should.
So we
What?
can use them on the show. I'm drinking a beer. It would sure go down a lot quicker with a beer Kong.
I'm drinking a sparkling ice.
That would
Well
suck.
done.
That
So
would
what are your-
suck to chug.
What are your predictions for the season win wise?
72 to 75.
Ed?
That's way too close.
Is that what you were gonna say?
Yeah, actually.
I
it was.
beat you to it.
I mean, hopefully it's a better season. I mean, last year was a good season. Only 62 games, but
It was the most fun I've ever had at the end of the season.
that's
until
a very
until
true
the
statement.
until the Brave series, but we don't.
Here's the thing, though. This year could be completely different if they would actually get run support. There were so many close
Yeah.
games that we lost, as there have been for the last several years. Just start hitting dingers.
I mean,
Exactly.
I'm gonna make a crazy prediction, and when it
Wire to
happens-
wire.
No, when it happens at the end of the season, Ed has to tell me that I was right, and I'm the great and all powerful and all knowing Oz.
Okay, so
86
April.
wins. Mark it down.
I don't have
it.
any
86
paper.
wins. We'll go back. We'll go back to this episode, season 4, episode 3. It's actually happening on March 30th, not April 30th. And mark it down.
Hey, Google, remind me that Jeff said that the Reds would have 86 wins.
You have to tell it when to remind you.
Okay, Jeff said that the Reds would have 86 wins. When do you want to be reminded?
Why is it British?
In September.
Sorry, I can only set reminders for a specific point in time. What time do you want to be reminded?
September 30th, 2021.
Okay, on April 30th. At what time?
April? I didn't say April. Can you guys continue? I got to fix this thing.
Ed's arguing with Siri. This is the greatest episode ever.
Why does everything keep going back to April 30th for him today?
She's like, listen, Cantaloupe Carl, I'm not telling you nothing.
Ridiculous.
Oh.
And then,
So
you know,
you
like,
think we make the,
in there.
you think with 86 wins we make the playoffs, right?
absolutely.
So do we take the division?
I don't think so. There's some strong teams in the division.
Cardinals are looking really good with that okey doke they pulled on Colorado.
I mean, okay, it'll be a toss up there, but I think it'll come down to the end of it's gonna be an exciting season. And they're gonna have 86 wins, and I'm just gonna double at this point. What do I have to lose to double down? They're
Well,
gonna
what
do
happens? What happens if you lose?
it. Huh?
Why does that have to call you all knowing and all powerful and all that? What if you lose? What is
Yeah, if
what
you
is,
lose, what do I
Hey,
get?
you get to put
I-
beard jelly on Ed's beard?
I already
If you lose,
agree.
you have to eat 12 cheese conies in one show
Okay.
And then send the video to
I-
with
Sean.
onion and mustard.
Absolutely. There's
Then-
no other way to eat them. Add it to your reminder, Ed.
And a 32-ounce Mountain Dew.
Add it
That
to
was-
your reminder, Ed. 12 cheese conies doesn't scare me.
Then send,
I'm not throwing up on 9.
then send the video. Then send the video to Sean Casey.
Speaking of Sean Casey, did you see some of those new ballpark food options that they released today?
I didn't know
did
what
see
to think.
those. Dude,
S'mores fries.
I want to know if there
they
was
look amazing.
any. I want to know if
Yeah.
there was any shrimp tails with the cinnamon toast crunch they put on those fries.
How about that guy?
Topanga's husband?
Yeah.
But did you hear what started happening at the end of the week last week?
No.
All these women came out and said that when they dated him, he was an abuser and like a verbal and mental abuser.
If Topanga needs a white knight.
Aaron is at he's downtown.
All right, so
Hey, question though. Oh, who was it? Never mind.
Good talk.
No, I think I got it. So our friends over at Craft Brewed Sports, they always do a question: Topanga or Kelly Kapowski
They ask this question all the time.
when they're guests. Yeah, they're guests when they have guests on.
Man. Well, you have to be more specific. Is this to marry or to spend an evening together with?
I guess an evening together with. I don't know. They don't mention. They don't bring that part up.
okay, how about this? How about this, Ed? You go do some more research on this question. Come back with more details.
I'll see if Mike wants to come on. Sure, sounds good.
Yeah, let's do that. I bet he will.
Cross-platform?
So
Yeah, they're cool guys. They'd hang out with us. Like, we get along with them pretty well.
Are they sponsored
good.
with, are affiliated with Beer Kong also?
They are, yes. But they have beer kongs.
Yeah, they probably got them for free.
yeah. All right. Well, you think that the Reds aren't going to do so hot, Aaron, and Penelope Carl also doesn't think so. So I'm
tired of getting my
I'm the
hopes up.
soul.
Really, I'm just tired.
I'm the soul. I mean, okay,
That's fine.
But-
I'm the only one rooting for Michigan right now, so
that's true too. Is it even close?
Oh, you and Bill.
Is it even close?
It's like 4-6.
But
it's still early. Way early.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back to what I heard Lance McAllister talking about earlier when I was on my way to baseball practice. Is that you can't have the Reds can't start the season off poorly, right? I mean, nobody wants to start off poorly, but especially after what has happened with, like, the obviously last year. Okay, it's a weird season. They played probably the worst baseball of any team for the majority of the season. Then they came on at the end and they snuck in the playoffs, and then obviously they didn't score any runs, and it turned out very bad. But you've got a fan base right now that saw you spend a ton of money going into last year. Obviously, then COVID happened. The season didn't start until August or end of July, and regardless that they made the playoffs, it didn't go the way that Reds fans were envisioning when they started making all these, free agency pickups and whatnot going into last year.
Well,
And you've got it coming off of years where they started like 3-18 in, was that 2018 or 19? They started off like 3-18.
when they sent Senzel back down.
Right. So you absolutely cannot, like, you have got to run out, regardless of if people want to say this isn't a good roster, that it's not this, it's not that. They lost Bauer, right? I mean, I don't think anybody really thought that they were going to be able to afford to bring him back. And they had a horrible offense last year. So,
Well,
go ahead.
I think that if you want to cry poor, the best way to turn around being poor is to win. And right
Absolutely.
now, the city
Winning
is
solves everything.
the city is starved for a winner. The Bengals have not had. I mean, yes, we have Joe Burrow, and things are a little bit more hype this offseason as they've been spending money actually wisely from all accounts over there on the stadium I live closest to. But
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, you have an opportunity now to capitalize on the fact that you have a very hungry fan base in the
Yes.
city of Cincinnati that just wants to win. That's why the city went bananas for Luke Fickle and them boys because
Absolutely.
they were winning.
I mean,
So
even in the loss to Georgia,
right,
which we talked about
we
way
were
back
still
when.
we were
But it
still
was,
okay with
I mean, I wouldn't say we were okay with it, but
as
we
okay
weren't.
as you can be because
But no, you're right.
it
You're
was
right.
to Georgia. You know what I mean? Like nobody was pissed about how I mean, we were pissed, but nobody was like, "Oh, another season lost because we suck again." Like no, it was like we just went out there against Georgia and we lost in the waning seconds of a game as a kicker booted a 54-yard field goal.
No, you're
Absolutely.
right. I mean, I, I want to go down to a ball game this year. I want to, but I don't want to deal with the higher COVID prices and all that kind of stuff. But if they start winning, I will. I will spend some money down there at the ballpark. I will buy higher COVID price tickets. I will buy hot dogs. I will buy the s'mores French fries. I will buy the cheese coney inside the La Roses. Just start winning. I don't have any. You want money from me, and I don't have any motivation to buy any of your stuff except for
Like,
an old Larkin or Sean Casey jersey.
I mean, we've talked about it before, and kind of Aaron just kind of hit on it. Like, don't come at me crying poor and telling me that you can't afford to field a winning team or a competitive team. If you can't do that, sell the team. Sell
Fair.
it to somebody. Sell it to somebody that'll do it. We've
I
talked
bet
about it
you-
before. I've touched on it in the past. I've tweeted it out. I've done all these, and it's not some crazy hot take. A lot of people have said it in maybe a little different way, but that's what it comes down to. Don't come at me and say we don't have the money right now to afford a team that can win or a competitive team that can go out there and isn't going to get spanked all the time. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants to watch that.
Quit spending the money on ballpark experiences. Like, you know what I want to experience at the ballpark? A win. You know what I mean? Like, I want to win. I want to experience a World Series. I want to experience a playoff win. I don't. Sure, a bar with 17 different local beers is pretty cool, but also I'll drink a damn Bud Light if we're winning.
They're not cool when you have to spend like $10 for a local beer.
That's
When
true.
I'm spending $10 for an 8-ounce like
I don't need
beer
a
that's
huge
half
inside my
foam.
ballpark.
I don't care. Give me back the UDFs where I could go buy the 24-ounce can for like $6 and or $10 I think it was, but it was worth it. It was $10, 24 ounces, and it was worth it. But that's what it comes. That's what it comes back to. Like, win games. Don't give me excuses. And let me cheer on a team. In 2012, like I had season tickets, and we bought all the postseason. You have to do that in the MLB whenever you make, like, if you have a season ticket package that qualifies or whatever. Like,
that's anything, any
right.
professional.
You buy you buy a ticket to every game that is potentially can be played in your stadium, and it was a lot of money, and we did it. And then they give you your money. They give you your money back when
they try and roll you over, though. Is what they're essentially trying to do. They
absolutely try and roll you over, and we did roll over because we kept our tickets for a couple more years after that. But that atmosphere when they were playing the Giants here, and it was like they're going to do this, even though it turned out in a horrendous manner. That's what I want back. I want you watch these games in other cities, and you see the stadium's packed and it's always like nuts. Like, that's awesome. And then playoff baseball obviously is second to none with the atmosphere that's there. And I want that here, and I want it to be because the Reds are winning, and I want to go out and go crazy in the street with everybody else when
Yes.
they win a pennant and they like do these things. Like
No, you're absolutely correct.
if you pack the stadium with fans, you think they're not going to spend money in there? But nobody's coming to watch your garbage product if that's what you're going to put out on the field. And I am hopeful that this team is going to prove everyone wrong.
Turn it around.
The bats are going to, hit and continue to hit and not go on these long dormant streaks. And we've got a pretty solid rotation.
I just feel like the Castellinis, unfortunately, have been a lot of lip service.
They have been.
When they bought the team, they were talking about championships, plural.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we haven't even sniffed a playoff series win. I mean, we sniffed it, and we left it all on the table. We didn't snort it. We just sniffed it and left it there. So it's time, man. It is time to do the damn thing. Let's just. I want to hear the roar of a crowd again.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And some of that is also like COVID. I want to eat a hot dog in the stands and drink overpriced beer. Like,
yes.
At least for a little while, and then if the team starts winning, I'll continue to do it. But I don't know. I
agree.
I'm gonna say that they're gonna do it. Like I really think that this team's gonna surprise a lot of people. I think that they, as long as they don't end up like losing their whole rotation or something, or
And I kind of want to go back on my statement just a little bit. I mean, I know there's a story that came out today where they added like a sensory room and stuff like that, and that kind of stuff I'm okay with them spending money on. It's getting young kids to become Reds fans, and which is what we need. But like, it's just some of the other things that they put around the ballpark. I'm just like, I don't need it. I don't need it.
Right. I want to see
money on players.
Right.
How much money was spent on the stuff that's not even in the stadium? It's literally on the outside of the stadium. Like, I mean, it's still like you have to show a ticket to get to these things, but it's not even where you can actually watch the game. Like,
and some of that stuff is pretty cool, like the little minor league, the baseball field and stuff like that. Like, that's cool to take your kids to play, like, before the game, maybe in the 7th inning stretch or something like that. That stuff's kind of cool, but you're right. Some of the other stuff that's surrounding the stadium, it's not needed. It's cool, but I'd rather win.
Yep. The traditionalist baseball fan in me coming out. Like, just watch the damn game.
I know.
Give me my I want to keep score with a pencil and
dude. Let me tell you, like,
I want to buy my peanuts buy outside for $2 cheaper.
Right. When I was growing up, like going to Reds games with my nana,
in my day.
Like, so like I went to lots of Reds. Like my nana and Papa were both like the biggest Reds fans I ever met. And my nana just passed away not too long ago, a month or so. And like she kept score at every game she went to. Her and her sister, like they were all Rosy Reds, and they went to all these things. Like opening day, we always went to, but like she would go to Reds games like just whenever because she was a huge Reds fan. But she sat there and kept score, and that's the stuff that like I want to get back to doing. And like nothing drives me up a wall more than being at a Reds game and people being like people like this.
They're not even got their phones up. They're head down. And somebody get popped by foul balls and why we had to put up nets.
And the nets don't bother me. Like,
yeah, it's fine.
I honestly like when I look up when you.
Well, especially after what happened with that little kid.
Yeah, I mean you don't want any of that stuff to happen. But no. I just want the Reds to get back to where it's a team that we're all like
hyped
up for, and
even though
right now, like
I haven't bought a new Reds hat in
like
years.
Lance brought it up earlier too. Like when opening day is on its like when you like the month and a half, 2 months out from opening day, and people are just like there's like this slow boil to opening day, and everybody's like, the Reds are gonna win every game. Like, yeah, let's go. And you don't really hear that right now.
No,
which is like
I
I
almost
don't know if it's because like the parade's not going to happen, so like
Well,
you
the
don't have
craziest-
that either like
possibly it.
craziest thing about it though is the fact that this is maybe the highest payroll we've ever had going into an opening day.
oh except for last year.
Was last year higher than this year,
I think so.
even with escalating contracts and what have you?
Yeah, they with from what I've seen,
From
just with all
trading,
with the money that they salary dumped with Iglesias
which is
going away,
which is it just makes me so mad that they cry poor and they trade away all these salaries, which is all bullshit anyway, because there isn't a single team in all of baseball, including the Marlins, by the way, that finished in the red. They all finished in the green. They all made money. All of them.
like the thing is like you look at it and like I think what irritates me most about it is they're like we're dumping this salary and this salary because we have to go fill these other spots and
Jeff,
we're gonna do it, and then they don't.
all of them.
I hear you, Aaron. I get it. That's what I said. Don't
Kick
come
that
at me with don't come at me saying that you don't have money to be
just
competitive and
just
sell the
didn't-
team.
You didn't seem animated enough.
Be more upset, Jeff.
I'm to the like when you do something you're not supposed to do, and
I don't
you
do that.
you get caught, and you expect your parent, like when you were a kid growing up, and you expect your parents to like blow up on you, and they don't, and you just know that
I'm not mad. I'm just
disappointed. That's where I'm at right now. So, but I'm optimistic.
This is you being optimistic.
I'm not
don't-
mad.
I mean,
I'm optimistic. I think it's the episode title.
I'm not mad. I'm optimistic. It's just. I mean, obviously, I'm optimistic. I said they're going to win 86 games, and I believe it. I've said it on like 3 different occasions to different people and whatnot, and I've been called crazy every time. So, yeah, go Reds.
Go Reds. So I don't want to dwell too much on Bengals stuff, as we do have something pretty special planned out for the next, not next episode, I don't believe, but somewhere before the draft.
Ed's gone next week.
Somewhere before the draft, we're gonna have some decent coverage of everything that went on in free agency and the draft, and I don't really want to dump all those takes on this episode or any real episode going into that, as that's going to be an episode pretty much dedicated entirely to your Cincinnati Bengals. That said, I do want to discuss what happened today, as I think that it's. What?
But before you jump into that,
Mhm.
I just want to know, and you don't have to give me reasons. You don't have to give me anything like that. Everyone that has been discussed is available at the 5th pick. Just give me a name. I don't want your reasoning. I don't want anything. I just want you to give me a name.
Here's my answer to that. I think Commissioner Yaz actually said it better than anyone has said it when she tweeted out earlier today that she was torn between 2 men. One has her heart, one has her head, and she doesn't know which man to choose. And those 2 men are Sewell and Chase.
Okay, so give me a name. I want one, Aaron. I didn't say give me multiple.
I think you have to go with Chase.
Ed?
So
Interesting. I go Chase.
of course.
I mean, that was my pick anyway. And when we have that episode, I'll go into why.
It's fine. Well, I'm sure there will be plenty to break down at that point. But I did want to bring up today the big change that happened in the NFL. A 17th game was voted upon.
Oh, I did see that. Yes.
So the way that that's going to work is it's going to be an interconference game, and every year it will be the AFC getting 1 additional game and then the NFC getting 1 additional game. And it's going to be based upon records, how you determine who you end up playing for that additional game.
So it won't be. It's just going to be like a TBD.
It's going to be determined 2 seasons beforehand.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So you will still know when the schedule is like the teams you're playing next year is released, that'll already be on there. It's not going to be like a big super surprise.
That would be cooler.
Yeah.
Wild card.
Here
Right.
is the
Right.
pull a name out.
Make
think
it
that-
like a lottery draft.
I think that'd be wild. They should do the whole season that way.
So
This week, the Bengals play Pittsburgh for the 4th week in a row.
Interesting.
there are 7 players left collectively between the two teams. They have
Right.
dismantled each other. So what are you guys' thoughts though?
One arm.
The reason I wanted to bring this up and have this discussion is, first off, I was completely shocked that the players agreed to it.
Are
And
they
I
going to subtract did they say they're going to subtract a preseason game? Did you already
yes,
say that?
they are going to do only 3 preseason games, which means that somebody's getting hosed in that end by having to host, 3 or 2 preseason games and losing. But I guess that goes back to the AFC NFC switching off who gets more games year over year. And it's just, I wouldn't want to be a team getting the 2 preseason games as opposed to getting that extra game. But I'm super surprised that the players agreed to it. And I say that because the players have always talked about how much the regular season wrecks their bodies in general.
Right.
And it's also a year before the CBA expires, if I'm not mistaken.
I mean,
But it does go into effect for this upcoming season.
they're playing they're still the same number of games technically, and I get it. Like the regular season, like
Well, nobody plays all 4 preseason games unless you're like
yeah.
really trying to make the team.
And and then you look at it that way, like that sucks too for some of these guys that are trying to like
Less
you know,
tape.
I mean, obviously, I guess like the first 3 games really like, and you look at it like, was like the first 2 games they always have like pretty much no starters, and like
last
third
year
game and like
Last year there wasn't any preseason, right?
yeah.
Because of COVID. So I don't know what the landscape of this all looks like, and I'm sure they'll iron it out more as it comes. Not to mention, again, I do believe the CBA expires the following year. So you're going to have all sorts of new agreements between the two sides just to iron out the CBA. I imagine it's probably going to also come with a second bye week at some point in time.
There's
because
probably going to be
players been
Go ahead.
clamoring for that this whole time anyway, and that may come at the expense of an additional preseason game. But then you run into, what do you do with that whole 17 games and all that?
Hey, real quick, I know we've already talked about Bearcats basketball, but breaking news coming across the Instagram Live. Tari is doing an Instagram Live right now with a bunch of players from other schools who are trying to recruit him, and they're trying to recruit him with what type of girls are on the campus.
Well, it
Great.
doesn't help if you're under COVID restrictions and can't actually talk to anybody outside your dorm room.
Strong statement right there. Yep.
Also, if
Wonderful.
Mikey Saunders is really considering BYU, I just wanted to throw this out there. If you thought that the rules were strict here and you're going to go to BYU, it may not be the school that you want to go to.
Years ago.
May not be
Oh.
the school that you want to go to.
Whatever.
It is what it is.
In any
But
case,
if you're giving me an extra Sunday of real life football,
yes.
I'm all about it.
Well, here's the other question that
I think they should play 162 games.
brought up. Pat McAfee said, "Are the players getting paid for that extra game?
Yeah.
Or have they are?
They would have to.
I mean, they would.
Well,
they're
he
gonna-
said, are they not getting paid anything more to play 17 games instead of 16 games? They're
I
getting
mean,
paid.
I think they get. I mean, they get paid.
You get paid for the preseason game, so it's the same. Like
Yeah.
your contract's still the same.
Much.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
The games are the same. It's a game day check.
I thought the preseason game checks were smaller.
I think they are.
I don't know.
So they just split up their.
Yeah, did they
other
spread it out?
one- So
Paid
they divide what they're going to pay them over 16 games by one more game
Yeah.
per check.
So they're getting paid less to play that 17th game.
So maybe that becomes part of the thing when the CBA comes back around.
Yep.
You know, maybe they got to say, hey, look, we want, extra compensation, or they change.
Or you
The rules.
strike.
Yeah, or they change salary caps and whatever. Like,
You would have, yeah. I mean, that's real weird though that they just lowered the salary cap for this season and added a game.
That's why Pat brought it up. Yeah,
Yeah.
he feels like they're really short end. He was surprised on how this actually got through.
I said the same thing as soon as I saw it go through. Is how the hell did the players actually agree to this?
Especially after last year and everything.
Well, and there's already turmoil between the owners and the players in general, where the players truly don't trust DeMaurice Smith, who's the president of the Players Association, as more and more comes out on him.
We'll see what happens, I guess. I mean, I'm excited with the moves the Bengals have made, so maybe a 17th game will be pretty good for us.
I'm excited to see what they end up doing with the draft, but I'm also very excited about the show we have planned for that. So
Yes, should be a good show.
cool. I don't know that any of us really prepared for a rounding third. I don't know that any of us really knew that we were doing a show until I don't know what, like 6:30.
Well, it's my bad because I thought I was actually out on vacation this week.
Well, the Fighting Mick Cronins are playing.
They're winning at halftime.
They're winning 27-23.
So go Michigan. But that all said,
say, if they win this, I also called UCLA to the Final Four.
I also said that if they win this, I will buy a UCLA t-shirt.
And I have records and receipts in Twitter DMs.
huh?
I didn't DM anything.
Different Twitter DM group.
Oh, okay.
So that
Also,
all said,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to close it out, but you wanted to talk more. Go on.
Sorry, I also do not know when City Beat will be announcing the winner.
Yeah, that's been like, are they blaming COVID right now?
I have no clue. I was talking to Michelle about it tonight. Like, the first year that we won, I think it was announced 2 days before opening day. So, or maybe even the day before opening day. So maybe we'll find something out soon.
They're blaming Dominion voting machines.
They're voting.
Let's not go down this path right now. Close us out, Aaron.
We're not doing this again. We're not
All right.
doing this again.
So enjoy your opening day. We hope that you listen to us before that happens, and we hope the Reds pull one out in apparently the frozen tundra of Great American Ballpark.
Yeah.
Also, we hope that by the time we record again, maybe Cincinnati Bearcats have a new coach, and maybe John Brandon, at least some type of figuring out what the hell is going on.
Maybe a new AD too. Who knows?
Maybe a recruit, because who knows what's going on with poor Bryson Spell.
Poor guy.
So that all said, good luck this week. It's going to be a doozy. Thanks for listening. Get your beer Kong. For Jeff, for Ed, I'm Aaron, and we're out.
Peace.
Peace.